Greetings everybody, I am Batman, but I'm currently making my way through the facility, so commentary duties will have to be handled by Solidus-Skully, here to welcome you back to Batman Arkham Asylum, and we come to our next female villainess. Bit of a redundant title, but here she is, Poison Ivy.
Stop! Stop, Batman, please! You've got to help my babies!
I'm really not interested in a bunch of flowers, Ivy.
They're in pain, crying for help!
Just stay where you are. Last thing I need is you running free.
Poor children. I'll save you.
But first to do a sexy little dance because the plants are crying. Yeah, Poison Ivy, given a rather fan-servicey design in this game that I'm not quite fond of. I mean, I honestly would have much preferred the design that we actually have right here. You know, the one that's kind of reminiscent of the animated series with a bit of a mixture between the sort of plant dress from the 2004 Batman series, but I don't know, I feel like that would have been a bit more appropriate, but instead we have what can only be described as lettuce panties, and quite frankly, it's a design that I find a little bit tasteless, and I know that's rich coming from me, considering that I was like, nice titties over Harley Quinn last time, but I don't know, when it comes to Poison Ivy's design, either just full-on embrace the sexiness, or just go for something a little bit more stylish. Because this is just, telling me that somebody on the design team, or possibly one of the writers, had a fetish that they needed scratched on their balls. But anyway, on to more important matters, we've finally, arrived at our destination. And what is this? Cash, what are you doing in here? Yeah, that's pretty much telling us all that we need to know, because this is not Aaron Cash, but rather Clayface. As you could probably no doubt tell with all the waxy shite in his cell, could he absorb that into himself, or was that something that is only comic specific, or something based on like the animated series? Yes, Riddler, we're coming for you. You're getting more frustrated, which means I, as your arch-nemesis Solidus-Skully, am closing in. But yeah, another unique gimmick with Clayface, I think I might show this off a little bit later, is that, again, if you turn the camera away from Clayface, he can actually shapeshift into different characters, which is quite funny. But anyway, yeah, Clayface. He does actually come back in Arkham City and plays a rather pivotal role, has something potentially interesting happen to him at the end that they don't follow up on in Arkham Knight, which kinda sucks. But yeah, this is also the Basil Karlo incarnation of Clayface, not the Ethan Bennett incarnation, which was actually one of the more interesting things about the 2004 Batman show, which was, again, the Batman that I grew up with. My Batman. But, yeah, in the meantime, before we go off and rescue the Warden, who's in that little control tower over there, you know, lovingly placed like a little dumpling in a little bit of a hunter's trap. Yeah, in the meantime, we're pretty much just bumbling about, getting some Riddler trophies, closing in on my arch-enemy. And it's also here where we come across a little bit of a secret, namely this guy, who looks a little bit like Phaelus. Budget discount Phaelus, I'll call him. Yeah, this man right here is, shit, I forgot his fucking name. I think his... Damn, I completely forgot what his name was, but anyway, he basically entered a competition for Batman Arkham Asylum, and it was pretty much a way to get your face in the game, so again, they pretty much completely modeled this guy, and they put him in the game. I keep on wanting to call him Ethan Phillips, but I don't think that's it, and there's also a Riddler trophy blocked off by Progression. God damn. Damn it, if only I had my handy-dandy tangents, I could remember that guy's fucking name, but you know what, I'll tell you after we rescue the Warden, because he's constantly whining, going, "Oh, help, Batman, even though I don't need your help, but I do!" And of course, this was just a trap for the Batman, set up by the Joker.
Harley! Ah! You have to help me.
Ivy? Gee, you look like crap. Maybe I can sneak you some shampoo.
The plants, can't you hear them? They're crying out to me in agony.
Yeah? Well, I really don't have time for this.
Please let me out. They'll die without me.
I don't know, Red. You're not on Mr. J's party list. Oh, well.
Please!
What the heck? I'll cut you a break.
That feels so much better.
Well, so much for the plants crying out in pain and, yes, Ashard, look at my lettuce panties. Mwah.
She's a good kid.
I could watch those two all day. What a riot! And speaking of riots, here's a bit of civil unrest I cooked up just for you.
Well, that doesn't bode well for any of us, but in the meantime, I finally remember what that guy's name was. Luke Oliver. So, yeah, that's Luke Oliver locked up in the cells right there. I certainly hope he manages to get out, because considering what happens later in the Arkham series, and even later in this game at this point, yeah, he's in big trouble. But in the meantime, let's go talk to Warden Sissy Pants for more exposition.
He's taken control of the security overrides. I have the sequence generator, but without the terminal in my office, it's useless.
Your terminal has been destroyed. Give me the sequencer.
What? Oh, yes, of course. It's useless. Half the code won't get you anywhere. We're trapped in here.
So, now we get our next gadget upgrade, the cryptographic sequencer, which is basically Batman's impromptu hacking device, which is... In this game, it's mainly just used to overload hacking devices. In Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight, you basically get a version of that device that, well, it does a little bit more, but we'll save that for those games. In the meantime, though, yeah, we pretty much just use this to blow up terminals, and more importantly, gain access to more of the Riddler trophies. Ah, freedom. Now, the way in which this device works is that basically you're manipulating the two analog sticks to align the... basically to align the wavelength so that it turns green, and by the time it turns green, hold it there for a little bit, and then kablamo. Everything explodes, and, the Warden is trapped inside this little cell. Well, I'm sure he won't go, mad or completely dizzy in there, but what is this? Warden Sharp? But you are Aaron Cash? I am so confused. If I did not know you were Le Clefless, I totally would not believe that you were Le Warden. Why am I doing a French accent that is now turning into something completely fucking weird? Oh, and now we suddenly turn into Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, this is Clayface basically just fucking with Batman. I mean, I guess he just has nothing better to do, so fuck it, might as well entertain him with his acting performances. Anyway, let's say hello to Luke Oliver once again as he glares at us. And the indication with the cryptographic sequences is that, again, these sequences do get progressively harder as you go on, namely indicated by the number of dots in the circles, so, again, it pretty much goes from, like, 1 to 5 dots, and if you get to 5 dots, it basically means that in order to align the wavelengths together, it becomes a little bit more difficult, and you have to get it very pinpoint accurate, but there are upgrades that you can use to kind of lessen the burden a little bit, so, you don't need to worry too much when using the cryptographic sequencer. It's just, you know, just being careful, although there is actually, one facet later on in the game that does, you know, amp up the pressure a little bit, but I have never technically lost to it, so, yes, view at your own discretion. I was initially going to show it off, but then I decided not to, because I can't really remember. I guess I just wanted to get things moving on, but I'll talk about that facet of gameplay when we get to it. In the meantime, though, there are scary things out there. Only this upgrade can save us. But yeah, not only can we influence the range, but we can also in turn get power, which pretty much means that you don't have to pinpoint accurately get the analog sticks together, and instead just have a general direction. Have at it, man. But in the meantime, though, there are also scary things. Ah! So, yeah, introducing the crazies. I really have no idea what to call them. I guess they're meant to be just regular Arkham inmates, but, yeah, comparing these patients to other patients, they're pretty much, and again, if you'll forgive my insensitivity towards mental illness, they're basically the Arkham patients who are pretty much too crazy for Boys Town and too much of a boy for Crazy Town. They're outcasts. And again, they're not quite as strong as regular goons, so the primary way to pretty much defeat them is pretty much just to use your counter, knock them on the ground, and just knock them out, so that's pretty much how you deal with them, but do be careful, because if they do land a hit on you, they'll be taking off a significant chunk of your health. And speaking of losing health, well, rest in peace this guy.
Surprise! You know, Bats, I always thought there was a spark between us. Well, now there is. I know, you're shocked. Come and get me, Bats. I double dare ya.
Jesus Christ, what is with the amount of panty shots in this game? And yeah, that guy was dead, even though we could have saved him much earlier, but... Yeah, Harley doesn't decide to do her own fighting in this one, which is a little bit odd. You thought that she would have wanted to take Batman out to please her, Mr. J. But evidently not. I mean, after all, if you remember that one episode of the animated series where Harley nearly did take out Batman, the Joker was none too happy because only I can take out Batman because I am so gay for him, and if any meddlesome women get in the way, I will be slapping her around like those firm titties in your sexy outfit. But yeah, it's basically a bit of another goon beat-me-up sugar-me-do, and the only real threat in this case is basically just taking them out before they can reach the guns. Although you do get some rather amusing Batman antics here, because he's pretty much flying all the way across to places that he otherwise shouldn't be able to without superpowers.
Was that as easy as it looked? Huh. Well, it won't be so easy trying to catch me. Mwah!
Oh dear. But anyway, to kind of get back to the plot at hand, we're pretty much chasing down Harley Quinn because, well, again, since she is tied closely to the Joker, then she will no doubt know exactly where his secret garden laboratory is. And of course, since we have the cryptographic sequencer, we can access more of the island and find his secret lab. But we don't know where that is yet. But considering how limited in scope the island really is, yeah, I think we know where it is, and it's likely the place we haven't really been yet, so yeah. Doesn't really take a lot of deduction work, Batman, but then again, it is best to eliminate possibilities as they show up. Whatever. This is pretty much just me bumbling about looking for Riddler trophies. There isn't really any around here, at least I don't think, unless I get it here, in which case I'm gonna look stupid. Got a lot of egg on my face. Nope, no Riddler trophies, so onwards to new adventure. Taking down Harley Quinn. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's also worth noting, actually, that the cryptographic sequencer does also change design. At the risk of pinching a joke from the SGB Likes to Play run of Batman Arkham Asylum, it does kind of look like a potential Microsoft handheld. Then again, that might just be because of the very Xbox green color that it has in its color schema, but it's neither here nor there in this case. I mean, honestly, it actually kind of looks like the prototype PS3 controller, actually, which is a very odd design and shape, so... Whatevers. Calendar Man. A guy who will be playing a very minor role, but he does still show up in most of the Arkham games, actually. I think he's also in Arkham Origins, but he plays more of a role in a city where he actually takes part in a bit of a impromptu side quest. And he does actually have a very brief cameo in Arkham Knight where he lives up to his promise. But yeah, this is also one of the earlier Batman villains who pretty much plans a crime for every single day, moment, and time of the year. And I gotta say though, I think he was voiced by Maurice LaMarche in Arkham City, and he gave a really good performance for Julian Day. Just very creepy, very esoteric, very mysterious. But yeah, to kind of go into his Arkham City gimmick for complete lack of anything else to talk about, yeah, pretty much approach Calendar Man on your in-game calendar clock of several different holidays of the year, and he will tell you a murderous story about one of his many crimes. They are quite creepy, so, yeah, it's actually worth going out of your way to do. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Well, no, Riddler. I may be a loser for now, but instead of being killed by you, I will instead destroy you. But yes, as you can no doubt tell, Harley has more surprises in store for us, so this is not the final confrontation. And, we can access the Riddler trophies. Oh, here she comes again.
Look who's finally turned up, the Dark Knight himself. How's it hanging, Babs?
I know I mentioned this earlier on in the commentary, but I am really missing Arlene Silken's Harley voice. I mean, not to say that other actresses or whatever do a terrible job or whatever, but it's just that, can't quite beat the original in my eyes. And, yeah, this is pretty much Harley's little puzzle for Batman. Electric water, guards hanging precariously over. Disable the electric field, free the guards, but in the meantime we also have to hunt down Riddler trophies, because again, if we don't do it in this little segment here, we won't be doing it until the end of the game, so in the meantime, let's take a look at Prometheus, a character who I only really know from the comic book story arc Cry for Justice, and he was fucking stupid. Basically by being written as like, I am so smart, very smart, nobody can comprehend our smartness, I want justice, grrr, whatever. And again, the whole idea of Prometheus is that he's basically negative Batman. It's like, instead of being good people gunned down by criminals, what if he was criminal gunned down by cops? And that's pretty much where the parallels end. I mean, if there's some decent storylines involving Prometheus, I haven't fucking read them, but yeah, Prometheus is kinda kappa shit. And when was he invented, actually? Oh, he was invented in the 2000s, so tells you all you need to know, really. But in any case, that's enough about Prometheus. Let's rescue the other Arkham staff member and do our best to get out of this situation. But I suppose if we try and do that, well, yeah, Harley ain't gonna let us go quite so easily. So I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Time for me to go, Babs. I'll miss you. Not. Oh, and now you have only 30 seconds to get out. Bye-bye.